Hello and welcome to Chord Dave Live, because it's Saturday. That's what we do. We do Chord Dave Live on a Saturday. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining us. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna talk about guitars and music and stuff, and it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, join us if it's your first Chord Dave Live. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the buttons. Do the buttons, and then make sure to say hello to us if it's your first time here, because we like first timers. It's always 10 o'clock here when we do Chord Dave Live, so it's time for a beer and let's talk about some stuff. So yeah, wherever you are, launch it. All right, on the Hop House 13 tonight, as you can see. Not sponsored, but I would like to be, so sponsor me, please. Let's talk about channels, guitars, and all that sort of stuff. We'll get into it, I am sure. We will we will get to all sorts of things, because that's just how our Saturday night streams go. Sometimes we talk about guitars, sometimes we talk about Steel Panther philosophy. So we'll get into everything. I hope you're all doing well. Let me know how you're doing, how you are in the world. It's kind of stormy and windy and stuff like that here this week. And also, there's a dance music festival within earshot of my house. So yeah, it keeps getting really loud, and I can hear the dance music, and I dislike dance music more than anything else. If there is a hell, and I go to hell, because I listen to the kind of music they will put you there for. My personal hell will be to listen to dance music all the time, because I hate it. I just don't see, and I'm sure they like listen to some of the heavier stuff I listen to and think, hey, what the hell are you doing listening to that? Because Soundgarden, whatever. I love Soundgarden. That's what I mean. Anyway, it wouldn't play down there. So that's driving me a bit crazy today, but it'll be fine. Anyway, let's dig into the comments. I guarantee I know who was number one. The first person here, as always, is Scott Bugfoot, because he has some sort of special notification or something to get on the live stream. By the way, if you are interested in joining the chat early, the chat opens up about an hour before we start actually being live here on YouTube. So if you do see the notification, pop in and say hello to Scott and all the folks who jump in early. I do pop in early sometimes, but if you have any questions or anything you want to ask me, drop them in the chat there and we'll get to them. We'll see what's going on. Anyway, guys, let's dig into it a little bit, because it's Saturday night. It's quite warm despite being a stormy, kind of horrible kind of weather existence where I am. John Brad is here. Great to see you. John says, I saw our posts on 5 Watt World, I guess. Yours was about was about flat wound strings, and mine was referring to PRS celluloid guitar picks because they don't smell as bad as Fender picks. I got a tip for you there, John. Don't smell your guitar picks. You're welcome. John says, wish me luck, folks. I'm in San Diego and I'm directly in the path of Hurricane Hillary. Well, take care, John. Absolutely. That's a scary time. Thankfully, we never really get hit with weather that's too hard here. I mean, part of my garden fence fell down yesterday. That's the biggest weather disaster I've ever been involved in, so it's not too bad. Richard Clark says, I think California has a lot bigger stuff to fret over than a hurricane, but good luck anyway. I have honestly no idea. So, possibly it does. Scott says, hey John, sounds like a bad storm from what I've been seeing. So yeah, well, take care, all of you guys out there in that part of the world. I do have many friends out there, so I want, and you guys, so I want you guys to stay safe. Our local news and weather channel seems to be, says there will be major flooding in my area, so I'm worried about it more than anything else right now. Yeah, we'll take care for sure. As Scott here says, get your irreplaceable stuff secure. Yeah, get everything off the ground and safe as you can, and then do whatever you can. So you definitely take care, John. For sure. John says, Scott, I really enjoyed the live 5 Watt chat. I'm sure, I've never actually been to their live chat, so I'm sure it's pretty good, their live streams. I'm sure it's pretty good, their channel is, for sure. Richard Clark says, well, John, I don't want to seem too light about it, but I didn't think you were too concerned since we were having a chat. Sorry, man. And for every time it rains at our place, our apartment floods. I'm sure no one was taking it lightly, John, but we do obviously wish you all the best and hope you do all right with that. It's not a nice thing to go through. Let me see. Richard says, I guess I won't make a joke about the rowing machine then. No, don't make that joke, for sure. Formerly known as T is here. Good to see you, T. Says, hey, Chord Dave. All right, Scott. Hello to all in chat. And T, the game was a bit, you know the game I'm talking about last week. It was a bit, I think we both got out a bit lucky. We'll take it. We'll take it as a draw. It's all right. We'll stay friends because it was a draw. John says, I think his name is Glenn. I have a bad memory. Not sure. Glenn used. I was impressed that Glenn uses the same pick, like Black Ice 1.5 millimeters. Could have been Glenn, yeah, for sure. And then we say, Jeff or Keith. I don't think there was a Glenn. Well, okay. Well, we're I don't know either. So we're getting off the track here. By the way, guys, just talking about YouTubers and guitar stuff. Marty Schwartz. His Epiphone is coming out next week. So if you're into his 335 Epiphone and you wanted to pick one up, I think he said they're $6.99 or $7.99 in US. So yeah, those should be released on Tuesday. So if you're after like a good quality 335 for $100 or $200 more than the regular priced one, it's coming out. And it has Marty's logo on the back of it, so it's pretty cool. I think I'm pretty sure it's just like Pro Bookers and in the pickup wise, and nothing specs wise, nothing spectacular. It's built and made to be like a beginner's guitar that a more intermediate player, I think, can dig as well. So Tuesday for that. So I hear anyway, and that's what I have written down on my calendar. So that it must be that one. I haven't any confirmation of any others yet, but there's some coming very soon. It's been very quiet, you may have noticed, in the guitar world of late, but it's about to pick up in the next 3-4 weeks. A lot. So we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about in those weeks. Formerly known as T, says John, you have Hurricane Hillary. We had Storm Betty last night. We did. Storm Betty was... And I wasn't aware of it, and it just came out of nowhere for me. And as I said, part of my garden fence fell down. That's not a euphemism. It did genuinely just fall down, so I don't know how to fix it. There's problems on the neighbor side, and the neighbor's empty. So anyways, lots of stuff to figure out at some point. John says, I also feel of the gravity picks, but they chirp too much. All right. Scott says, it's hard. I heard there's the first hurricane like 80 something years. Yeah, things are changing somehow. Some people don't think they're changing. I think they're changing a little bit. Formerly known as T says, I like Dunlop 0.8 millimeter for the acoustic. Should I start a new show, guys? The picks and plectrums show, because I think we start talking about picks and plectrums every week now. So maybe we should do that. I don't know. I have no. I mean, I'll need one of you guys to host it for me, because I just pick up whatever. I don't really pay too much attention. It either feels right or it doesn't. That's what works for me. Scott says, but who is Jim Dunlop, and is it related to Dunlop Tire Co? No, I don't think they. I also don't think they make tennis rackets and stuff like that. Like there's a company, a sports gear that there's a Dunlop company. Maybe that's the tire company. I don't know. Ryan's here. Great to see you, Ryan. Hope you're well, my friend. Scott says, I like picks thick but not rigid. You sure you're still talking about your picks? I've never met the man, but he must be a genius. There you go. Ryan says, I like Dunlop see-through gel ones in purple, heavy, I think. Scott says, nylon is my preferred material. Jim Dunlop has nothing to do with tires. There you go. The Ernie Ball Everlast material is nice too. Yeah, Daddario makes some nice picks. Marty Schwartz actually had a thing. I saw a thing with him yesterday, was it? And you can get your own like specific design on the picks for you. I was like, hey, I could do some Chord Dave picks. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll look into that. So you never know. But obviously, you guys who have specific tastes, you won't want one, so it's all good. Scott says, anyone else see the Beato and Hammett interview? It was good. I've only seen snippets of it, man. I haven't had time to dig in. I'll go into it later on. I'll go into like why I have no time and why I haven't put out many videos lately. Basically, I have no time. Like I've said a lot for the last year or so, I have no time. Maybe 2 years. It's gotten worse, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Basically, my days have just been screwed. and I've got like 3 hours to do stuff, and it's just not enough to do things that I need to do. So things have fallen to one side a little bit. But I'm working on fixing that, so we'll get into that maybe in about 20 minutes or so. But yeah, so I haven't got to see that. I haven't got to see Colin's video yet. I usually set aside some time on Sunday for YouTube watching though, so hopefully I'll get to those this week, tomorrow. Yeah, there we go. Grandpa Joe says, hello Dave, wishing all a safe weekend, especially John Brad. Don't fool, Mother Nature is way too powerful. Indeed, Grandpa Joe, great advice, and thanks for joining us. Always good to see you in the chat. Ryan says, I was going to watch it after this. I'm not a fan of Beato, but this one seems it would be all right. I do like his content, but I also like his interviews with the folks, like the one he did with Brian May and stuff like that, a lot more than his regular content. He did a great one with Miles Kennedy, I thought was really good as well. So he's got some really good stuff on his channel. Some of the stuff he does, I'm like, it's not my cup of tea, but I see the value in what he does. So I think he's a really good YouTuber. I would absolutely love him to come and teach me how to be a better YouTuber. That'd be great. But I think he's too busy to do that. So there you go. Let me see. Grandpa Joe says, he's talking to Scott. That's okay. Dennis Ellis is here. How are you doing, Dennis? Good to see you, man. Hope you are well. Always great to see you in the chat. And as it is to see all you guys. By the way, guys, Marsha sent me a message. I didn't get to hear it all, but she did say that there's like a family situation, so she's not going to be in the chat for maybe the next few weeks, but she is going to be listening after the show. So make sure you've hit the like button for Marsha, and otherwise she might come after you. That's what she does. So yeah, just be careful out there, and look out for her. And yeah, just send all the good wishes to Marsha and her folks and her family and everything. Make sure everything's good. And if you're listening to Marsha after the show, hope you're doing well. Let me see. I was thinking about adding that part. Oh, Ryan. Oh, you're talking about being parallel to Paris, is it? Anyway, geography show. That's another one we'll get into. There we go. All right. Well, good stuff. Scott does say, anyone new here, welcome. You'll have to subscribe and wait a minute before you can chat in the best chat on YouTube. Indeed, you do have to subscribe. Just hang around for a minute and say hello to us, because it's been a while. D-Max says hey all, and William Forrest says yo all. Good to see you guys, both of you, because yeah, we always like seeing you when you can pop in to see us. Todd Moore says hello all. I guess I must have missed the new video. You are a funny person, Todd. No new video this week, but unless of course you were on Patreon. There was a video on Patreon this week. There will be another guaranteed Patreon one next week, and a guaranteed Patreon one the next week. So if you want to join the Patreon, support the channel, you can do that, and you can get more Chord Dave live, not more Chord Dave live, but more Chord Dave in your life by popping over there. There was a new guitar wishlist episode for the first time in way too long, and there's one recorded for next week and the week after, and I'm going to be recording some more, I think, on Monday. So I have 3 more of them that I'm ready to go on. So we'll definitely be adding the Patreon content. The YouTube content, I'm also hoping to get some recorded tomorrow. But then having said that, I already know 3 or 4 things that are going to pop up tomorrow that might take away time. So I'm not 100% sure how much I'm going to get done. I'm trying. I am very trying. I'm trying to change how I'm doing stuff on this channel. So just so you know, this background you might only see on Chord Dave live in the future. I'm trying to just use my living room because there's more space in there, and do some more less news-based, less rumor-leaked news-based content. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly, but I need to put my finger on. I've got a first couple of videos, ideas that I'm going to do. I'm going to try and record the first one tomorrow, the next one next weekend, and see how we do. So we'll go from there. But yeah, it's been ridiculous. What's basically what I'll tell you now, I suppose. So what's happened is my day job decided that I had it too comfortable in my life. You know, I had everything organized. I had enough time to do the stuff I needed to do. I worked early in the morning, finished in the afternoon, and everything was great. And I still worked in like a normal work day, but I just started way before most of my colleagues. And they decided, no, you can't do that anymore. Now you have to start late in the morning. So I'm starting early enough, but like late enough that it screws up my morning. And then by the time I've finished my day job, there's not enough time to do everything that I need to do. And I can't do the stuff I need to do after work before work because it involves going places that aren't open yet. So, and doing things with people who are not available yet and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's kind of fucked up my whole day and weeks and stuff like that. And I haven't adjusted to it yet. So that's why I haven't had any time to make YouTube videos, because I have no time to do anything. By the time I kind of finish work and then like make some food and then, chill out for a half an hour, it's nearly time to go to bed so that I can do all that same shit again the next day. So I'm looking for a new job basically so I can get back to like a normal time. But we'll see. I know I'm stuck on this time frame for like 6 months, and we'll see how long I actually last on it, because it's bullshit. But I'm going to try my best, and I want to try and get some preloaded content and stuff like that as well, just in case I do get into stuff. Anyways, yeah, so we got to try and get I have to try and figure out a way to make the most of like 3 hours. That's because what essentially I have at the end of my day before I then start my next day. It's a whole thing. Anyways, it's too much, and you didn't ask, you don't need to know, but it's that's just why. I do have legitimate reasons for there not being as many videos at the minute. I'm trying to rectify it, but it's more tricky than I expected it to be. Michael Tweska says, has anyone subs to the Chord Dave OnlyFans yet? Guitars, beards, and dude stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's coming. You guys know I've talked before that I am I'm into crypto a little bit. Matt and I have talks about crypto here. And there's a guy I watch on YouTube who's in the crypto space. And he just one day was like, I have an OnlyFans, you can join it. And it's not pictures and stuff. It's talking about crypto. It's like advice and things that I can't put on YouTube because they'll censor it. And it's not rude stuff, but or naughty stuff. So you never know. Maybe there'll be extra special guitar stuff on an OnlyFans page someday. Maybe there'll be also the other stuff if I need to pay the rent. Who knows? I'll figure it out. But hey, Michael, great to see you, man. Hope all's good with you. Hope you're keeping safe and sound, and hope that Telecaster is treating your daughter well as well. Formerly known as T says, yes, it's time for beer. Indeed it is, sir, yeah. So, all the best. Michael says, I remember that when Steel Panther was called Metal School, Dave is going to put his glow sticks and start raving. No, man. It's one of those things I just really hate it. Dave was the original guitar player in the Prodigy. I was way back when when they were cool in the 90s. The dance music means the devil is coming for you, Dave. Could well be. Ben Tom says, yo, Dave. Yo, Tom. Great to see you, man. Thanks for joining us once again. Always good to see you popping in to see us. Scott Bug says, yes, like a Spidey sense, but less webby. Glad to hear that. It's less webby, but also definitely a little bit weird. It's fine. Todd says, Soundgarden are definitely their own band among many, a formidable creative force. Yeah, great. One of the greatest. Big fan of Soundgarden. Love them. Yeah, but I remember when I first started listening to them, I was like, and I didn't really know much of their albums and stuff. I just had heard songs here and there. And I drove home after buying an album. I can't remember which one. I was like, this is probably the greatest album I've picked up, just because I was liked the imagery on it. And but I knew it was Soundgarden, so I knew I'd dig it. Put it on in the car, drove home like an hour. By the time I got home, I was like, this is a great album. And I got in, checked my CD rack, because I still had a CD rack back in those days. And I had like 2 copies of that same album already. I never paid attention to album names. I was like, do I like this one? Cool, let's buy it. I check now. I learned my lesson through Soundgarden. DH92 says, hi Dave, what do you think of the new Guns N' Roses song? I'm not keen myself, but it might grow on me given time. DH92, thanks for bringing that up actually, because it's a good thing that I wanted to talk about. I like it. What's weird about it is it's a song that's been floating around since the Chinese democracy sessions. It's where it came from. They've apparently re-recorded it with Slash and Duff at this time. I like it. I like the little piano bit at the start, but it does to me sound a little bit Chinese democracy-ish. It sounds a little Street of Dreams, which I like. I like that song. I think it's cool. But yeah, then it like when it ends, I'm like, is that's the end of the song? Which is weird. So I dig it. I think it's cool. I've been listening to it a lot in the last few days to try and get like a proper feeling for it. I'm not like, as you guys know, I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan, so I was gonna say I like it. I think, but yeah, it's not a classic. But what I will say is they're putting a song as the B side to it on the vinyl, which is called The General. In Guns N' Roses like super fandom, the General is like this mythical thing that people have been talking about for years and years and years since the Chinese Democracy sessions. It's supposed to be like a November Rain, like unbelievably brilliant classic song, a great song. I've heard snippets of what it's supposed to be like the original Chinese Democracy recording of it, and it didn't blow me away, but I could see elements where I was like, it might be good. But no one, as far as I know, has heard of. There was like people put together their own version of what they think it was, and it's supposed to be. I don't know about that. So I'm interested why they've put it on the B side of the vinyl, and it's only on the vinyl. So I'm sure that'll make its way onto the internet once people get the vinyl, and I'm looking forward to hearing what The General is like, because that's people in Guns N' Roses Underground have talked about that song for a long time. So we'll see what that's all about. Perhaps I like it. I think it'll grow on me a lot more, but I do like it right now. So yeah, I definitely keep listening to it. I think it'll grow on you. But yeah, I've actually had that on a playlist for a few years. I probably shouldn't admit that in case Axel comes and finds me. But yeah, I like the piano riff that opens it. I think it's really cool. But thanks DH92 for asking. Yeah, love the Guns N' Roses stuff. Tom says, we had an earthquake in Pennsylvania about a week and a half ago, and a tree fell on my house, but it's all off now. Dude, that is crazy. So glad you're doing okay. No wonder none of the people from Pennsylvania have been to work lately. I do work with some people from Pennsylvania remotely and stuff. So yeah, that's weird that I didn't know anything about it. But yeah, glad you're safe and the tree is taken care of. Michael says, I'm in San Diego too. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. This storm is BS. We should show a hurricane party. Yeah, a few years ago, there was this whole thing of Ireland's having a hurricane, and I live in the southeast of Ireland, which is like, we never get too bad weather. You know, it's the sunny southeast. We're the Florida of Ireland, I guess. No one's ever said that before. That's the first time that phrase has ever been mentioned. But yeah, the Florida of Ireland. So I live here, and but it's nice and chill here. Like, we don't have weird weather. The hurricane was coming, and all these folks over in America were telling me, "Oh, you got to take this serious. It's going to be crazy." I'm like, "We don't get serious hurricanes here. It's not going to be bad." And it wasn't. It was fine. There's like a couple of people had their electricity out for a day or so, and then it was back to normal. So yeah. But anyway, you guys take care over there where you're having hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff, and then when all this passes, ask yourself, why do I live in a place where hurricanes and tornadoes is a regular occurrence? Because that's crazy. And earthquakes too. They're scary. Someday I'll tell you my Oklahoma tornado story. It was funny. Todd says, the DH92, good question, and you obviously know how to get to Dave's attention. Yeah, ask me about Guns N' Roses or Slash, and I'll answer this question. Good stuff. Scott says, the new song video was okay, better than I was expecting. Interesting. Yeah, I'd love to know why they held back the release. It was supposed to release like a week before it actually did come out. I don't know why they held it back. But then, of course, last weekend it was on jukeboxes in the States, apparently, because they forgot to remove it off that when they pulled it. So something weird happened. Yeah, very, very interesting. Tom says, we used to have a hurricane party when I lived in Miami. But there you go. It sounds like you guys are crazy. Andrew Collins says, missed you last week. Andrew, yeah, we weren't on last week because I had to take care of some stuff, but we're back here. Oh, I do apologize. I missed a super chat from one Muddy H2O, who's quite early. He usually doesn't appear until the second hour of the show, so glad to have you here. Mr. Muddy H2O says, we're working on his OnlyFans. The first event will be a TCD donut ring toss. I think we've disturbed the customers enough to not bring that up for right now, but thanks. Yeah, thanks so much for the super chat and the mental imagery. It's quite strong in that one. Todd says, actually our first week here without a threat of severe weather. Hopefully, hope all are well and safe. As the big T says, take care. I say that. I say take care. All right. He stole that off me. I'm pretty sure. He also stole his demo shop review off me, but I'll let that slide. He give me back my take care. I know. I think he was saying it first on YouTube, but I say that to everybody. It's a whole thing. Anyway, the big T. We're not allowed to say that. Remember? Well, you can say whatever. I can't say it. People will be giving out to me in comments and stuff. Formerly known as T, a different T, says first 60 mins were enjoyable to watch. Neither team could string a few passes together. I changed my name to blue as the color last week. Oh, dude. Blue is the color. I don't know. I think your team are not going to do well this season, but we will see. Todd says Dunlop Gators in the 2mm for heavy stuff, the 1.5. Ryan says, what material you slide players using? Great question. Scott says, do leaning your guitar on an amp lead to pickups being demagnetized? I don't think so. Good question though. Why not? Benny Larson's here. Good stuff, Benny. Hope you're doing well, man. Says just cut up. Best of luck, John. And yeah, absolutely. Great to see you, Benny, as it always is. Let me see, where did all those comments go? Oh, it's time to take a little drink because the throat's gone a bit crazy. Booklip's here. Since I'm here, I unexpectedly got a new smartphone, and now I have to lobotomize it so it stops telling me what to do. Yeah, those things do that. Todd says, Dave, the latest beard skull graphic would definitely be awesome on some pics. Yeah, good thinking, Todd. It would actually. Now that you mention it, so good idea. Says I saw Colin's video. It was a good one. Yeah, Colin's one looks interesting this week. I am excited to check it out tomorrow because I like that guitar. Todd says, definitely sending well wishes to our sister Marsha of the Strings. Indeed. Todd says, oh, so no video unless I join Patreon. No, not at all. There will be new videos. You just have to wait for them until I have time. By the way, the guys who are on Patreon have been massively neglected because bear in mind, they pay for content. They haven't been getting any for a long time. So a big shout out to my Patreon guys. All of you guys mean a hell of a lot to me because you've stood by me when I haven't been delivering for you. So I do apologize to you. That's big, but yeah, no, Todd, it's not a case of no videos unless you subscribe to Patreon. Patreon's there as an option if you want to support the channel and support what I do, and it does make it easier the more income I make from YouTube, because honestly, the reason YouTube does get put to the bottom of the list is because I make more money doing other things outside my day job than because I have 3 or 4 other projects that bring in an income. So they get prioritized because they bring in more money. So anyone who does want to join the Patreon, the link's in the description below. Thanks for the segue to that. But no, there will be videos up on YouTube. Hopefully, again, we'll start up this week with some new stuff. I'm hoping to keep it fairly regular once I get it up and running. It's getting it into my routine to have time to do it and fitting it into a little slot. I need 3 to 4 hours at some point of a week where I can just have nothing else going on. And that's a very difficult thing to actually get in my life. So when I do get that figured out, I will have at least 1 video a week here on YouTube, and then I will have hopefully 2 to 3 on Patreon, because we got Guitar Wishlist up and running over there again. So there'll be a video this week, there was a video this week, video next week, video the week after. I'm hoping to record another 3 next week, so that'll keep us going for a month or so, and then maybe add another 3 the week after, so maybe a couple of weeks. And then there's another series I want to do over on Patreon and stuff like that. But it is one of those things that I need to prioritize, because those guys are paying for content. But content will always make its way to YouTube, because that's primarily where we're from, what we do. Ryan says, I'm telling you, Dave, do some content out in the streets. You've been to Wexford, right? You've seen the people around here. I don't know if I want to put too many of them on the thing. Benny says, all the best to Marsha. Looking forward to seeing you in the future. Indeed. Yes, we all wish her well. Richard says, I have a few Bitcoin miner running, Dave, 24/7 passive income. Bitcoin's kind of like using an iPhone 3 at this point, but I do get where you're coming from. If you're able to make it passively or just keeping it running, more power to you. All good. Let me see. Some people saying hello to some dude called Muddy H2O. That's weird. Soundgarden. Let me see. Richard Clark says, I was nothing but about Soundgarden during their first 5 albums or so. They were indeed a pretty decent little band. Let's throw that out there. Andrew Collins says, those new EVH Strats look hideous for $1,700. I mean, to me, I'm not a Strat guy. So yeah, $1,700 on a Strat. I don't think I could do it anyway. But yeah, I get where. Yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. To be honest, Richard says, "Down on the farm." That's quite a tune. Ryan says, Richard, I partnered with a guy to help fund his setup. It's been a few months now since I've been seeing profit after expenses, and might do some more, but hard to find a good space. Good space is the enemy of everything that I try to do at the minute. Scott says, with the new GNR vid, I like the vid more than the songs. The first time in years that I saw Axel looking and acting like the Axel I remember. I don't think he is the Axel we remember. I get what you're saying, but like, you know, the weird thing is, like, haven't seen him live a couple of times now, and him getting back into the thing of it. I think he's just back to enjoying performing again when he's in full flow. I think he's just accepted he's not the Axel of the late 80s, early 90s now again. So yeah, all good. John Bratt says, anything with Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, and Audioslave. Those are 2 bands with Chris Cornell. So yeah, those are good ones. I do enjoy both of those. Audioslave, such a great band. Back in the day when I saw them live and everything a few times, it was really enjoyable. Yeah, those are the days. Mark Doolan, good to see you, man. Says, would like the Boss GX100, but we'll wait for hopefully a smaller desktop version. Just a thought, guys. I think somebody recently said there was it's not that big of an improvement over the previous version, and it was worth kind of picking up the previous. I think maybe it was Scott. I don't know. Somebody said that. I think on one of the live streams recently. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. Anyway, Mark says, or Andrew says, Mark, I have the Boss GX100. I love it. There you go. Very good. If you love it, can't say better than that. Mark says, Andrew, yeah, I want one, but it's big floor thing. And Mark, the screen on it looks nice, says Scott. Andrew says, I have a Helix floor and the Boss GX100. It's a great unit. Mark, the GX100 is small compared to the Helix floor. So there we go. And here we go. I think this is what Scott was talking about before. This is what I'm remembering anyway. I have the old ME80. I see no reason to get the newer model. See, I knew there was something like that. There we go. Perfect. Mark says, true, Andrew, we use the HX stamp, so it seems a bit large. So there we go. Scott, can you load IR on the ME90? I'm sure he'll let you know. And Cushman NYC is here. Great to see you, Cushman. Hope all's good with you, man. Says, hey all, and hey 3 Chord Dave. Good to see you, man. Glad you joined us for tonight. Scott says, there's too much for me if it involves a computer. There you go. I don't know, Scott. You're like the most prolific YouTuber I've ever known. Like, you push out so many cover versions of songs. And I dig them, man. I put them on when I'm working sometimes. It's always a good time. John says, Dave, if you ever want to change your chat day or time, let us know. It's one of the things I've been planning to do is do a different time. And then when I get around to it, that time, I'm not available. So I haven't set a time for it. What I'm going to do at some point is, so I'm going to keep the Saturday night one, but I'm also going to do one that's more convenient for people like in Australia, New Zealand, that kind of place. So the folks like Micah hasn't been able to make it to the live stream for a while because he's working on, I think it's Sunday down there for him. And, Robert joins us and a few other, like Murphy's Flab is in Australia as well. A few other folks in Australia, down that part of the world. It's not a good time. Anyone out in Asia as well. And we do have folks from that part of the world joining us. So I think Sunday mornings, my time will work for that. The only problem there is I have another Sunday morning project that I do. So I need to fit everything in all at once. So we'll see. At some point I'll make an announcement and do that. But again, I just need to settle all my kind of schedules back in, just get my life back in order, because it's all over the place right now. So yeah, Anyways, let me see what we got. If it helps your work schedule, I don't know what's going to happen with that, man, to be honest with you. I'm going to tell them I need to not work those hours. They don't seem to care. They're just like, deal with it. And I'm like, I don't really want to. So, yeah. And I'm not going to complain about the company or tell you how broken their product is, but they don't need to be losing people. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways. Scott says, because I have to be careful because they know that I stream and I'm on YouTube, so I have to be very careful. Scott says, Chord Dave, you should start a Spotify playlist that we can all add stuff to that we're listening to in one central place. You know what, Scott? That's not a bad idea, and I've thought about it. In fact, I have a Chord Dave playlist, and people can add stuff to it, but where is it? I'll give you a link to it here now. The thing I know is going to happen is that somebody's going to put very inappropriate songs in it at some point. So yeah, invite collaborators. How do I make it? Do I make it? It's not private. Share. All right. I'll pop it in the chat. Let me pop it in here, and feel free if you're on Spotify. You can listen to it. You can add music to it. There's already enough Steel Panther songs on it, so don't worry about that. And yeah, sometimes I do listen to that. But yeah, that link should take you to Spotify. But it's gonna be fun to see what you guys put in there. I'm sure it's gonna be not as much fun, but there you go. Where are we now? Where was that comment? Because it's all just moved down the list on me. One centralized place. There we go. Money H. Schwo with another super chat. He is actually a sponsor of the channel who pays by super chats. So thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate it. And you know, just keep it real. Do you and Slash have the same hair care routine to maintain your luscious perms? Yeah, we do. We share tips on hair care and routines all the time. We're in an exclusive hair care group on the internet, which I can't tell you about. Officially, it's a secret. But thanks for noticing. Slash and I talk about it all the time. Anyway, do appreciate you. Ryan says, nothing beats the streets of Ireland. Do some busker interviews or try RA Dublin. That's gold. You'd be bigger than Mr. Beast. I don't know. Some of the buskers around here are dirty, smelly hippies. Sorry. Formerly known as T. Anyone else get hit with the watch history thing on YouTube? Suits me better, to be honest. I don't know what's going on with that, T. It sounds like something inappropriate happened, but whatever. I hope it was fun. So yeah, I don't know what it was. The VMAX says, anyone play that Epi 61 Les Paul, aka the SG? The new ones, haven't played them yet, no, but I'm just kind of waiting for the refresh with the new colors to come out, which I was told was coming early this year, but it appears hasn't yet. So, but they're supposed to be really good. So there you go. Richard says, BTC is iPhone 3. I'm doing some Chainlink and ETH as well. But this isn't the place for a crypto spat. I don't care what people will use. I just care about price. Wait for the scarcity day. I'm telling you, Bitcoin's going nowhere other than down. It was going up first and then it's going down because it's old technology. I honestly don't know why it's. Do you know why Bitcoin? And I'm not going to get into it too much. Do you know why Bitcoin is the #1 crypto? Name recognition. It's the only reason people get into crypto and then they get into other things. Like you're saying, crypto or Chainlink and ETH. Like people are like, Chainlink, what the hell is that? But once you find out about these projects, you get into them. But yeah, listen, man, it's going to make you a lot of money. So that's the thing, especially if you're mining it yourself. Scott says, DMAC, if that's the Inspired by Gibson one, I've heard it's as good as the 59 LP they did. I have that and it's nice. Yeah, very good. Yeah, people are raving about those SGs, and I do love an SG. DMAX says, I played the Epi SG Custom and really liked it. I like it. Epiphone SGs are great in my book. John says, I've decided that even if I could afford it, I no longer care about owning a Gibson guitar. I'd rather have an Epiphone or half a dozen different Harley Bentons. And there's nothing wrong with that, John. Yeah, listen, there's plenty of folks out there who, have lots of Gibsons and Fenders and all sorts of things, but they play their Epiphones and their Squires and stuff because they don't want to damage their expensive things. But yeah, they're getting really, really good these days. There is a difference between them, there is, but there's nothing wrong with Epiphones whatsoever. Some of the better guitars I've played have been Epiphones. Harley Bentons are getting better all the time. You do kind of get this, I don't know, there is a difference playing a Gibson to an Epiphone. I can't really explain it, but at the same time, I completely get where you're coming from. It's not necessary, let's just put it that way, to have a Gibson or a Fender or whatever. You can have a great guitar at a much lower price point and have bigger collection for the same price as, say, one Gibson, which is how it is. The thing that Gibsons have is they tend to go up in price, whereas like Epiphones and Harley Bentons and stuff are not going to go up in price. So they do have that the longer you hold them, but not always, because like some years, like new stuff is not going to age well price wise. I don't think. 2015 Les Pauls and everything haven't aged well price wise, but the market, I think, is still crazy at the minute. It's due a turn in my book. I think guitar prices are still too high, secondhand ones, but we'll see. Ryan says, anyone play a Revstar Pro? I tried one and loved it. One of the best guitars I've played. Very interesting. I haven't myself played one. I think Glenn has a Revstar. I'm not sure if it's the Pro or which one it is, but if he pops in, I'm sure he'll be able to tell us. Scott says, I'm out of new song ideas for now. Need requests or input from outside sources. Been watching top 100 hits videos for each year, from the 40s up to the new ones. Wow. I think you should do a Spice Girls cover album. That should be your next week. Just do Spice Girls songs. Because, I don't know, like one of the early live streams you mentioned enjoying the Spice Girls. I'm not sure if it was the music, but you mentioned them. So I think you should do a Spice Girls cover album. That's what I'm recommending. And of course, just, this is a Steel Panther fan club, so as much Steel Panther as you'd like is always good. John says, the first song I'd add to the list would be GH related. I'm pretty sure that's on there, John, to be honest. I think it's in the list. If it's not, Friends with Benefits is, and I think it's a fun song too. I actually was playing that playlist with some family members around, and I didn't realize it was that playlist recently. I was like, oh, gotta keep skipping these songs. I could hear the first couple of chords. I was like, oh, I know what that is, gotta skip that one. It was a fun afternoon. Andrew says, do you have to get a new setup going from 9 gauge strings to 10 gauge strings on a Strat? You don't have to. I'm hesitant to say yes or no, because some people will probably kill me for saying no. You'll definitely want to check your nut and see how strings are seating in it, because you may need to adjust that nut a little bit. I don't think you need to get a full setup done, but you might want to check it out. Richard says, and don't mention I bought first BTC for $800. They are now 30k. I'm okay. And 2 years ago they were 60, so they'll get back up there at some point. Ryan says, I haven't tried the RSE, just the standard and Pro. Only real difference was the Pro was lighter and it was a nicer finish. There you go. If it was a nicer finish, then pretty cool. I think we might be nearing the bottom of the chat. I think that's why it's keeps reloading on me. That's weird. We never get here so early. We only got like a handful of people tonight. Is that what's going on? 28. It's not too far off where we would normally be. All right. Well, start chatting, guys. Is it because Marsha's not here? You guys aren't chatting? Because she's gonna listen in and like kick your asses. So Marsha, if you're listening afterwards, just tell them all. Money H1 says, hey, Chord Dave, how's your guitar kit build coming along? Well, I still haven't purchased a kit because I haven't found one that I like yet. So it's not coming along well. But the kit build challenge is still running till the end of the year. So there's plenty of time. And yeah, just in case you don't know, we have decided to do a DIY guitar kit build challenge. We have a Facebook group, which is linked in all the videos, and you can click on the link, go to the Facebook group, and post your guitar that you've built, or your DIY guitar kit that you built, and let us all see what you've come up with. And you can do anything you want, have fun with it, and towards the end of the year, we'll do some prizes and things for like innovation, design, just things that we think are cool. And if you're not on Facebook, or you don't want to be on Facebook, or you just don't like our Facebook group enough to be part of it, you can email me specifically with pictures and stuff, and I'll share them for you with everybody. Email address is in the bottom of all of the emails. The email address is the best way to contact me. The thing about that is I don't check it every day, and I don't I get a lot of spam, because I think somebody on YouTube one day was like, hey, this idiot left his email address on YouTube. I'm going to sign him up for all these scam emails. So I get a lot of spam. So if I miss an email, please do forgive me. But I do try and check it every couple of days and go through it and look out for your stuff. But if you want to be part of the DIY guitar challenge, buy a guitar kit, or pick yourself up some wood in your garden or whatever, make a guitar, and we'll have some fun. Yeah, so my plan is to get a kit. I haven't found one that I really wants to do just yet, because I have some very particular requirements. I have all the parts I want to use in it, the pickups I want. I have the other hardwares and stuff, so that's all ready to go. But we'll see. It'll be a fun project. It's not going to take too long, because just gonna half-ass it anyway, because it'll look nice. It might not play super nice. But thanks for asking us, Muddy. How's yours coming along? Because I know you were saying yours is going to be the most expensive DIY kit guitar of all time. About $9,000, I think you said you were putting into it. And that's just buying the tools that you're going to need to work on it. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be like a gold top phallic shape, I think is what you said. Formerly known as T said, if you don't have your watch history turned on in your settings, you get a blank homepage. Your subscription page and library are the same. Wow. Yeah, YouTube is a fucking nightmare. Yeah, there we go. YouTube just messing with people even more. It is a pain in the butt, YouTube. I kind of hate it at the same time as enjoying it. So it's a weird way to be, but I'll have to keep an eye out for that too. I haven't seen it yet myself. I don't know if I have that setting set up, so I think I do. I think we're good. D-Max says, Andrew, good rule of thumb is if you're going up or down a gauge. Yeah, so anyway, Andrew, I'm no expert, but I'd cut the nut to fit a hardtail may be easier than a wiggly model. That's great advice, actually, I think. Scott says, Spice Girls, I've done a few, but okay, Steel Panther is too technical for me. No, like more Spice Girls I want to see. I know you've done a couple, but I want you to really dig into them, like get more and more into it. Any music from that, like early to, what was it, mid to late 90s era. Spice Girls, Britney, Genie in a Bottle, all those kind of things. Do them all. Be good. Dive into Britpop, do some of them. I don't know, man. Just have fun with it. It's gonna be exciting. I like it. Andrew Collins says, yes, I got a Fender Ventera 50 Stratocaster and I want to put 10 gauge on it. Yeah, like it might be. If you're getting a setup anyway, you may as well. And just give the guy the 10s and be like, there, pop those on for me and make sure it's perfect. I do the opposite. Any guitar I get that I'm getting set up, I get my dude Marty to put 9s on it, and he always makes it sound pretty alright for my playing. There you go. Booklip says, I like Space Girls, Yeoman Rand in particular. I mean, if that works for you, Booglips, it's all good. No judgment on this end, for sure. And Scott says, a little bit more relief might be needed too. Again, Scott with the good advice, for sure. And Booglip says, Bogfoot came by Thursday and we stripped the donner and put it back together. It is at least properly set up now. I hope he didn't charge you too much, because it's supposed to be helping you out with it. But good. Sounds like it's in good shape now finally. So that's all good. Let me see. Andrew Collins. You should be good with 10s and could even tune down a half step. Sound great on a Strat, by the way. And formerly known as T says, PRS new guitar, heard it's limited to £217,000. That's pretty cool. I found one on Thomann. It was a Martin the other day, and it was like 150,000. I was like, Thomann, ain't no one buying €150,000 guitar off you. Someone probably will now, it's just to spite me. Ben Allmark's here. Great to see you. Ben says, where do you think the guitar market is headed over the next year? Interesting. Great question. I think we're going to see a dip. Like, I think there's an awful lot of volatility coming in the market. Because people trying to sell stuff that is too expensive right now. I was watching, you're going to be surprised, and don't, everybody just take a seat. You're going to need to sit down for this one. If you're driving, just be aware some shocking material is coming your way right now. I was watching the Trogley's guitar show the other day. He had a Les Paul Studio that he claimed he bought for $800. And I was like, that seems a bit cheap for a studio right now. And it wasn't in its original case, and I actually don't think it was in original condition, but I think he said it was. So anyway, there was some bits and bobs. I was like, I don't think that's right. But yeah, I was watching the show. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what the kind of current state of the market for Les Paul Studio is. And they are creeping under 1,000 now. Like you can pick them up at a decent. Now there was nothing brilliant. There was nothing great on Reverb, say, and I mostly look on Reverb, so there's nothing great. I think we're going to start seeing secondhand Gibsons come down a good bit. That's kind of where I would know more on the Gibson side of things than anything else, because I'm always looking at SGs and Les Pauls that I can, and even now Vs that I can pick up and maybe do some stuff with for the shows and stuff that I want to do. And yeah, it's hard to know, because as well, if recessions and stuff go on and get bad, if stock markets crash, if all kinds of things like that happen, if there's a mortgage crisis or housing crisis, like I've been reading for months that there's going to be a banking crisis. If that happens, people are going to start selling things like guitars, luxury items, and they'll sell them for whatever they can get. So that'll mean the market for guitars, if you got money, you'll be able to snap up some good stuff. I think stuff like Epiphones that are ludicrously priced, I think people are still going to try and get their money back for those. It's the other thing. So I don't know. I think it's in a weird place. It's either going to just be ludicrous, or it's going to be a really good time to be shopping for guitars over the next year. I'm in the camp. I think it's going to get a little bit. I think it's going to be a case of we'll see some bargains, a lot of bargains, I think, that are going to be hard to pass by. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are going to turn to with the pricing of new guitars, I think a lot of people are going to turn to the secondhand market instead of new guitars, because I don't think the big companies are bringing out spectacular stuff, but they are asking spectacular prices. And that's just going to drive people away, especially for like obviously I've given out so much about Epiphone and their pricing. Those things are, that's just going to drive people away from Epiphones, new ones, and they'll buy them on the secondhand market. So great question, Ben. Where's it going to go? It could go anywhere, but I think we're going to see a drop in secondhand prices. New guitars, sky's the limit. I don't think they're going to they're going to have to react to some terrible sales figures and stuff like that, which I think they are realizing they've got to turn around, but we'll see. We'll see what they actually do. Ryan says, my dog just had surgery and has a little cart for the next few days. He's learned to do donuts in it. Ryan, dude, take care of that little creature. And the cart sounds cool with the donuts and everything. Awesome. Muddy H. Rose says, Andrew Collins, you should be fine. However, fender nuts from the factory are typically left quite high, so getting your nut adjusted is probably a good idea either way. Muddy just likes to talk about people's nuts, so just be careful taking advice about your nuts from him. Buglip says, we discovered that Donner Tele clones have a 12-inch radius fretboard compared to the classic Fender Tele of 7.5 inch. Yeah, they probably do. Obviously you're telling me, so it makes sense. Scott says, having never had the guts to work on my own enough, or even though I've seen 100 guitars set up 1,000 times, it was very reassuring to know nothing we did was shocking to me or over my head. Sometimes you need to, just pick up a cheap guitar so you can do that stuff, Scott. And that's what I recommend anyone who wants to learn how to do it. Just buy a cheap guitar and allow yourself to fuck up with it. I have done that many a time. So it's how you learn to solder the pickups, and it's how you learn to work with frets and stuff like that. Although I prefer not to do frets because it's just tedious and a pain in the arse. But yeah, if you have to, get a cheap guitar and get to go to work. Buglips says, it works a treat except for that slightly unseated 16th fret. We knock that back, it ought to be just fine. Frets pop out of place from time to time. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. That does happen. Formerly known as T says, Aaron Short did a show the other day about the used market. He said it was finding it impossible to move used gear. Interesting. I haven't seen that, but yeah, it does. It doesn't surprise me, and I'll tell you why. Because I think people are looking for bargains, and bargains are not there yet, unless you want to buy something that's kind of not great. That's what I found. Like if you're selling something awesome and you're selling it at a good price, you'll sell it. If you're selling something average and you want a good price, you're not going to get it. So, like, on good price meaning you want more than you paid for it. People want bargains right now, but the sellers haven't turned yet, and that's the thing. So but it's all good. Because it's going to come that way, where sellers will realize, oh, that reverb suggested price is a load of bullshit. I can't list my Epiphone Les Paul special for like $750, or my Melody Maker from 2015 for like, what was the Amazon ones they did? Was it like the M2s or something? They were like the really like the $400 Gibsons, and people were trying to sell those for like $900. It's like, no, you can't do that. So yeah, once people selling guitars start to get realistic with their pricing, I think they'll sell them then. Ryan says, Trogley put that same studio set up for sale for $2,000. I did see that, and I will make no comment on it other than good luck to him. D-Mac says, gear will move, just not at the prices the sellers want. Indeed. Seen some, I've backed off looking at the moment because I get too tempted, but prices, you see prices, you see people like who buy stuff clearly with the intent to sell it, and they look for more than the retail price or something. I know that's scalping, I know that's been around for a long time, but that's just not where the market is right now. So even stuff like the Adam Jones guitars, like they sold over their retail value for like 2 weeks. And then they went back. The Dave Mustaine's, there wasn't really a scalping opportunity on those. The Gibson ones, not the Epiphones. And things like that. So yeah, I don't know. Sellers need to be more realistic. That's all there is to that. Let me see. Murphy Labs Studio. Oh God, I will say to nothing about Murphy Labs. I have very strong opinions on them. Andrew Collins says, yes, I think used gear market is way overpriced right now. For sure, I agree with you. Obviously, because I've spent a long time there just talking about it. Scott says, Dave, how would you price a guitar that has had binding added to a studio as a mod, considering it was done exquisitely? How would you expect it to affect the sale price? Negatively. Just flat out, like it's. If I was looking at something like that, I'd be like, well, that's not supposed to be there. If I was looking for a studio and I had binding, I don't care if there's binding on it, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter to me, but if I would have to see it, Scott. I don't know. I personally, if I'm buying a guitar, I want it to be as factory spec as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to have to spend money to put it back to factory spec. That's what I tend to do when I buy a guitar. So unless it was something that massively improved the quality of the guitar, which I wouldn't say binding does for me. Some people would say, hey, it makes it a million times better. It's not that big a deal for me. So, yeah, it wouldn't be that big a deal for me. So I would be like, take $100 off for the way you've added binding to my studio. But other people would probably tell you to pay a lot more. So I don't know. Not the guy to answer that, to be honest. Al's here. Great to see you, Al. Hope you're doing well, man. Says, sorry, not staying. Just entered for Government Mule and Bonham Led Zeppelin concert, Dark Side of the Mule. Very cool, Al. Well, enjoy that, sir. And thanks for dropping in to say hello to us. Hope you enjoy your evening. Scott says, brass nuts are self-lubricating, as all brass has that property. All right, I don't think we should get too deep into talking about nuts, because that'll be overtaken in the chat. I know it will. Muddy HO says, some of us have to do our own guitar work. We aren't fancy YouTubers who have a guy. I know, and I feel so privileged to have a guy who just happens to live down the end of the street. Well, he's not down the end of the street. It's like a 5-minute drive away. And yeah, you know, these are the perks of not wanting to do your own work and paying somebody to do it for you. But like, other people will do stuff that I'll you know, I don't want to fuck up my guitars I spent good money on, so I get him to do the stuff that I potentially will do wrong. That's all it is. You know, you're better at doing the work than I am. That's what it is, sir. Whereas I'm more than happy to give a lot of things a go. There's some things I'm like, I probably mess up those frets, so get him to do it. And yeah, I still owe him €10 from about a year ago, because that's how long it's been since I brought him another guitar. Next one, extra €10 on top. Thanks, Money. You know I love you. Ryan says, I see used prices going down. Stuff isn't moving right now, especially higher end stuff. R9 selling about 8,000 Canadian a few months ago. Used now 5-6K or 6 to 7K. Yeah, that's something I wasn't considering, the higher end stuff like that. Like kind of looking at stuff 3,000 and lower is where I was thinking. Yeah, higher end stuff is coming down a lot more than the stuff in the range I was talking about. I'm lower end, I would say, not moving in the right direction just yet, but I think it will. Ryan says, I think this winter will be great. Where did all that go? Will be great time to buy used high-end gear. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a really good time for that this year and all the next year. I think so. Yeah, definitely would agree. Scott Bogfoot says, Dave, you go to your local pub much or at all? No, I'm more likely to be found in coffee shops and supermarkets, and those are the places I go. Yeah, because I don't have time to go anywhere else. And I like, sometimes I just, you need time to yourself. Sometimes I'm just with a book in a coffee shop, with a nice latte or cappuccino, something like that. Just kicking back and reading some stuff to get out of my own head a little bit. But I don't go to pubs because Saturday night is pub night and I'm here most Saturdays. Last week I was off because I just needed to do some stuff and it wasn't pub related. I haven't been in a pub in it's about a year now. So yeah, I think it was last September. A friend of mine had an event on and I went to it, and that was the last time. So yeah, I should go more. Actually, I've been in more bars in the US in the last year than I have here. So there you go. And I probably will be next year. I might even be later this year, and I might even be in January, because I'm still debating whether or not to go to NAMM next year. I don't know if Gibson and Fender are going back in PRS. I think once I find that out, I'll decide whether to go to NAMM or not. I think they'd want to announce that pretty soon. But no, pubs haven't really been to many, so soon, who knows? Formerly known as T says, have you seen the new eBay rule? If you make an offer and the seller accepts, the sale goes through. I don't shop on eBay very often. In fact, I've bought 2 things on eBay in the last year. So one was a guitar, one was not a guitar. Both were expensive. But the thing that was not a guitar was more expensive. So I may as well tell you. So yeah, so the guitar that I bought, you'll be seeing very soon. And the thing that was not a guitar was a book, and it was, God, can't believe this is how much it was, right? The book was 600 euros. Uh, yeah, 600 euros for a book. And then when it arrived, it looked, what kind of, I haven't got it anymore because it wasn't for me. I don't know, man. It was like, yeah, it was like this. It was like, came in like a package like this. It was like a little tiny thing. Like this notebook I use was bigger than it. Like this is, oh, you saw my company name there. Don't clip that up. But the people who sent it to me were like, no, that's the full book, I promise. 600 pounds, god damn it. Anyway, I didn't know that tea, but I suppose it makes sense if you're a seller. I don't sell on eBay at all. Maybe I should. Anyways, all good stuff. Formerly known as he says, said new twice, the beer works. Cheers. There we go. Linda Mark says, I'm confused. If more people turn to secondhand market, wouldn't used prices go up? So, hey Linda, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. What tends to happen in the guitar market is there will be more people selling than there will be buying. So even though people are looking more at the secondhand market, it just means there will be less people buying the new stuff, but the stuff that's been on the market's still going to be there. So guitar market's weird. It goes up and down in different phases. We're definitely going to see a flood of stuff over the next year and a half that's currently sitting in people's living rooms and offices and bedrooms and stuff not being used. Next year and a half or so, we're going to see a lot of that stuff go on the market. We've seen a lot of it, but not all the pandemic guitars, stuff like that. But no, secondhand prices will go down because people just won't pay them. We've seen it a lot before, where basically people are setting their selling prices too high. People trying to make a profit on stuff that's not selling, not even selling new, and they're trying to make a profit on it. So that's why, I mean, more people will be shopping in the secondhand market, but the prices won't go up. It's just due a downturn, is what I mean. So we'll see. Less new guitars will be sold. That's a guarantee, especially the way they're currently pricing stuff. Ryan says, I agree, Dave. Upgrades don't exist. Original is most valuable. I saw a guy trying to get $2,500 for an Epi LP Ultra signed by Steve Vai because he put $600 pickups in it. No way, man. No way. Yeah, that's crazy. An Epi Ultra, LP Ultra, wow. Yeah, I mean, look, especially when it comes to something like really old, and by really old, more than 10 years, because people will tie sentiment, like, and I am talking about my Les Paul here, because it was 41 years ago now. Like, I wanted that to be as original as possible, so the fact that the pickups in it were not original was bugging me. And that probably does mean I should put a Kaler on it at some point, but I'm not gonna. But yeah, the pickups, it was, I had to go buy those pickups, and I got a good deal on them, but still, it was extra money I had to spend, which wasn't cool. And then I had to get them put in, because at the time I had no time to do it myself. And also, I'd never put in those kind of pickups, so I was just, the wiring was a bit weird. Anyways, I hate when people do that. But do you remember there was an episode of Guitar of the Week I did, and there was some dude trying to sell like a signed by Bonamassa Epiphone that was like $600 new, and he was trying to sell it for 25 grand because Joe Bonamassa had signed it. Joe Bonamassa's signature, dudes, is not worth 24,400. So yeah, because I'm pretty sure if you meet Joe Bonamassa, he'll sign whatever for you. He seems like a good dude that way. All around good dude, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, yeah, original is best. If you're going to sell a guitar, if you make upgrades, as Ryan says, keep the original parts. That would make it more valuable to me. And then I can be like, cool, I'll put the original parts back in and sell the upgraded parts. Scott Bogwood says, Steel Panther should write a song about their guitars nuts. I'm pretty sure they are working on it. I do a little bit of Steel Panther. Just, they cheer me up no end, especially when I'm freaking out at my work colleagues. Um, there's some of them are good ones. They're all based in Ireland. The other ones, not so much. Buglips says, I like doing my own guitar work. I like it quite a lot. If I get enough experience and get good at it, maybe I can be someone else's guy. Oh, we all just want to be someone else's guy, Buglips. But, what I find, listen, we do live in the age of YouTube. So if you find something, or if there's some task you want to do on your guitar, find a video. Like pretty much all the major companies, like Gibson put out some really good ones with Jim DeCola doing all the work. He's a master luthier. He knows what he's doing. And he'll show you like how to do all this stuff. So you can like watch those videos. What I recommend is find the video, watch it, then go back to the start and go step by step very carefully through what to do with it. And take your time, don't rush it. So there you go. Scott says, I'm putting myself in timeout. Yeah, it's okay, Scott. It's all good. We'll let you slide this time. Robert's here. Great to see you, Robert. Hope you're having a good morning in Australia. It says, good morning, Dave. Morning, one and all. Trust all's well in your part of the world. Trust all's well in your part of the world, Robert. Thanks for joining us on your Sunday morning for your breakfast. Great to see you, as always. Thank you so much. Money HO says, did it have Slash's DNA in it? The book? No. This one kind of might, because he did sign it. He signed a piece of paper that was glued into the book. So I don't know. That book there. So if anyone wants to make me an offer on Slash's DNA, I'll consider it. Prices start at, let's see, Slash compared to Bonamassa, 10 times, 100 times, 40,000 times a better guitar player. Who knows? Slightly better guitar player. That's all I would say. Historically more impactful musically. But not on the guitar market, because Joe Bonamassa controls that. We all know that. Anyway, off on a different rant. Ryan says, people buying used lowers new prices and closes the gap, makes used prices go down further. Also, people trying to sell gear to fund next purchase. That's true. And also, as well, another thing that can happen is people see the prices that things are moving at, so they list them at appropriate prices. A lot of stuff right now is listed at crazy prices, and that just won't last, sadly. Goodly, whatever. It's good. Scott says, moving sales are great. For unused guitars, seems everyone has moved house recently. I haven't, but I would welcome it if it wasn't ridiculously expensive. Wayne McConnell says, hi gang from Burning Colonia, British Columbia. Hello Wayne, take care of yourself, man. That sounds, I've seen a few pictures from that area. Looks difficult. Take care for sure. Scott says, you guys out of the fire risk now, and hopefully you are. Scott says, guitar techs get massive appreciation. They do, because they do the work that we don't want to do. Richard says, the guy with the Joe B guitar was hoping some blonde lawyer trophy wife would buy that for her hubby without knowing the value, because hubby loves Joe so much. I mean, hey, everyone loves a bit of Joe, right? From time to time. I was kind of hoping I'd run into him when I went to Norm's Rare Guitars, but hey, maybe next time. No, I did see Lemo. Lemo was there, and Norm and a couple of other people. But there you go. Next time just sit around until Joe Bonamassa comes along. Buglip says, I got 90% of the way to setting it up in YouTube videos. What I didn't have and needed were specs and measurements. Book paid for itself with just that. That's why I have an SG setup book here, which is why I bought that pretty much. So it'll have all the different specs, and it has everything. It has like the for the SG Custom, for the SG Special, for like pretty much every version of the SG that was brought out. It has all those kind of details, and I will just use those details for any guitar I'm working on. If I'm not bringing it down to Marty, because YouTube stuff, whatever it was, what he said. Slash says, Thanks for joining us in the comments. No, it's not Slash. It's Richard Clark. Same thing, very close in terms of how good a guitar player they are. Is the paper in the Slash book made from real tone wood? I believe so. Yeah, I believe 27 mahoganies were taken down to print the book. The maple cap surprised me on each page, but there you go. They went all out with good Gibson Publishing, you know. Muddy says, wait. Did you just say Slash with a better guitar player than Bonamassa? I think your perm is too tight. I said, yeah, better guitar player, better, more impactful to music and music history. And also, the other thing he has over Joe Bonamassa is that he's not Joe Bonamassa. So that's all. I like Joe Bonamassa, by the way. I'm just poking a little bit of fun. That's all. Joe's cool. I enjoy him. I have paid money to watch him live on the internet. Scott Bogwood says, Buglips, the Epiphones used to come with a very good setup guide, including stringing and height measurements in the manual with the guitar. But now they come with stickers. Thanks, Epiphone. Wayne McConnell says, no, it's not good at all. Lots of big dollar homes lost. The whole province is in a state of emergency, worse than the fire 20 years ago. Dude, that's not good. Sorry to hear that. That's how it is out there. Listen, take care of yourself and be as well as you can. And yeah, look, our thoughts are with you, man. It looks terrible from the pictures that I have seen. So it is, yeah, it's not cool. Yeah, take care of yourself, man. That sucks. Victory Crosby says, greetings, Chord Dave, fellow pluckers, I'm late. Hey, Victory, thanks for joining us. That is super cool to see you dropping in to see us. Glad to have you, as always. Scott says, Haynes should do guitar maintenance books like the car ones. Look, did you not see it? I don't know. I just showed you. That's what it is. Did I show? I did show it. Booklip says, yeah, setup guide would have been nice, Scott, but now we know what we're doing, so we can work on whatever's not working, not worth holding too long and McQuaid to do. There you go, indeed. Victory says, great to see y'all. Great to see you too. Always love seeing you drop into the chat there. DMAX says, stay safe out there, Wayne. I grew up in Forest Fire Country in Northwest Ontario. Lots of close calls, but got lucky. This year's fires in BC are totally next level, never seen before. Wow, man. Yeah, that's it's weird. I've never seen these like wildfires before. Obviously, as I said earlier, like we don't see those kind of weird, I say weird, but those kind of like natural weather events happen here. Thankfully, and touch wood, it's we get very mild weather all the time. We also don't get super hot summers, and we tend not to get super cold winters. We just get annoyingly cold winters, and rainy time all the time. But yeah, we should be thankful we don't get all those kind of dangerous things. So, but yeah, definitely, guys, take care of yourselves and your folks and all that sort of stuff out there, because yeah, it sucks when the world gets nasty around us. Scott says, and the stickers peel off after a week. They're not the best stickers, let's admit it. It's true. Cesar needs to work on Epiphone's case candy. It's something that if Cesar ever actually accepts my offer to come on the show, I will bring up with him, because I think they're missing a beat there. Like, they just should do something that people love. You know, people love having that little $5 worth of stuff come with their guitars instead of like 20 cents worth of stuff. I don't think they're paying that much for the stuff they put in with like the Gibson guitars. Even it's, you know, the little black bag you get with the like the baby photo. I know they can't do that. They're making too many Epiphones, but all kinds of other things. They could put a nice little package together for like $5. Put it in your. They're going to charge you for it anyway. They may as well put something cool in there. But they don't, so fuck them. Bugdub says, and we can build kit guitars. Dying to build a kit guitar. Hey man, take your time, do it, make it super cool. Bonus points, by the way, if anyone makes a Ninja Turtle related guitar, just because I saw that there's a new Ninja Turtle movie in the cinemas. So there you go. because I used to be obsessed with Ninja Turtles when I was like 8 years of age. Anyway, it's a whole other channel I need to get into for that one. Andrew Collins says, why don't these higher end guitars use stainless steel frets and come with a case? That's a great question. It depends which ones you're talking about, of course. But I mean, most higher end guitars come with a case. Some like PRS, a lot of them come in gig bags. I was talking to a luthier actually recently at the NAMM show, and he was saying that he doesn't like hard shell cases because guitars with broken necks tend to be stored in cases, or they tend to be shipped in cases, whatever. So he prefers a gig bag and good padding and all this sort of stuff. So I don't know the ins and outs of it that much. I would have assumed that a case was better than a gig bag, but his argument was that gig bags actually offer more protection than hard shell case because your guitar can be moving around and it can be hit in different ways and stuff like that. So that's what makes you get, I don't know, more impact protection or something in a gig bag. I'm not 100% sure that's what his argument was. I would prefer a case myself. Stainless steel frets, I don't know, people, believe it or not, there are people who don't like stainless steel frets. So yeah, that's probably why they can think they can get away with it being that much cheaper. But again, if it's a high-end guitar, the cost of stainless steel frets is not that much more expensive. It's just penny pinching from the companies. So yeah, I mean, some people will say, oh, if you're making like 1 million guitars, it's the reason is that's a lot of like that extra dollar is an extra $1 million off the balance sheet. Put an extra dollar on the price of the guitar, no one's going to care. So, you know, and also you're making enough money off your guitars anyway. So to the big companies, the smaller ones not so much, and I think they will go and do whatever you want for them anyway for that money. So anyway, yeah, that's probably why. But you're right, they should come with that sort of stuff, the high end stuff. Buglip says Ireland and Newfoundland are basically the same. I believe that people and I only found this out recently, that people from Newfoundland have very similar to an Irish accent. There was something on YouTube or something about it, and I thought that was quite funny. So yeah, apparently people in Newfoundland sound like people from Wexford, where I live. So y'all walking around talking like Wexford people, apparently. Richard says Ireland and Scotland are exactly the same thing. They're not. I'll tell you 2 reasons why. And I'm not going to get into no political things. Similar. There are similarities, and we like the Scots. We do. And they like us. And that's great. I'm actually not going to get into it because I could get in trouble. But yeah, Scots are great, and they know how to have fun. And that in an Irish way. Or a Celtic way, more appropriately. So yeah, it's all good. They're terrible at rugby, and that's just always been the way for most of my life, I would say. So anyway, but yeah, we all, between England and Scotland and Ireland and I suppose Wales, the Irish and the Scottish love beating England at sports more than any of the other nations in that island grouping. And that's all I can say. It's good crack, and we enjoyed the party afterwards. Anyways, the Epiphone case candy should include a $500 rebate. I mean, hey, listen, Muddy, some Epiphones, believe it or not, are not terrible. You know, they come with things like bridges correctly installed, pickups that actually work, pickup selector switches that are connected like they're supposed to be. Some of them are not terrible. Not all of them, but some of them. Some of them come with, functioning guitars. Can't be said for Gibson all the time. Scott says, is Ireland forested? Here we have as many trees as possible. I kind of think of Ireland as being more open grass, hills, barren, for lack of a better word. There is lots of forestry, yeah, for sure. Lots of farmland, lots of agricultural land. There's lots of what would you call them, like nature reserve kind of lands and stuff like that. It is very, as my former American ex-girlfriend who was American came here, and she was like, Ireland is like, it's so naturally green, and she was like surprised at how much so it was. But yeah, it's like everywhere's green when you fly over it, but yeah, we have a lot of still natural places. But the problem is the towns and stuff are getting built up more, and it's not what it used to be when I was a kid. Which might probably a good thing. I don't know. But no, it's not barren. There's lots of trees. That, if you're asking, that's what you're asking. Lots of forests and stuff. Yeah, they're all over. The woods are everywhere. D-Max says, my wife's off to Scotland tomorrow. She's a flight attendant. Very cool. Well, I hope she enjoys her trip to Scotland. It's a cool place. You know, I think everyone should go to Scotland at some point. Why not? It's good fun. Buglip says, I'd make a Ninja Turtle guitar. I'm just waiting for some left-hand bolt-on and neck kits to restock. I don't want to mess around with glue yet. Very cool, yeah. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do, Buglips. I think you're going to make a cool one. I think a lot of you are going to make cool ones. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be fun. My knees hurt this here. Great to see you, my knees. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Says, got a 2x12 cab working. Irish Death Ale. Hope about to make a falafel sandwich. Well, sir, let's launch it to you. Great to see you. My knees hurt says, a correctly built case is better than a soft case. Problem is most cases are made to hold multiple different guitars. Stuff sucks around the guitar if it's going to travel far. Yeah, I take your point there. My knees hurt. Absolutely correctly built and properly fitted and stuff like that is important. I think that's where a lot of them go wrong. So you got a great point there. Richard says, you really need to pad a case right if your guitar is going anywhere you don't have control of it, and you can't just put it in there. Too few contact points means more PSI at contact points. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't like to take my guitars too far at all. If I'm moving house, they all go in their cases and into the car, and I'm trying to move them all at the same time and get them into a nice comfortable position. You know, I treat them like they're the most important things that I'm moving. I've never taken a guitar on a plane or a boat or anything like that. I feel like some stage I'm going to buy something when I'm away. Like if I went to Norm's Rare Guitars and bought something, or if I went to some other, there's a lot of guitar stores in the US that I have bookmarked stuff on Reverb that they're selling, and like I'd like to go check it out before I buy it. That kind of thing. So some stage I'll probably buy a guitar and try and bring it back. Actually, I tell a lie, I brought a guitar to Europe with me when I was like 20. It was an acoustic, and it was in like the best case. Like I spent a lot of money on a case to fit the guitar that I had. It was an acoustic Tanglewood TW90C, and I think the case was worth more than the guitar. That's how much I wanted to make sure it was safe, and it survived the trip, so it was fine. So there you go. Richard says, Dave, I was kidding. There's an old SNL sketch about it. Oh man, I didn't know, dude. Yeah, I haven't seen SNL in a long time because it doesn't get shown here anymore. But Ireland, Scotland, basically the same thing. I could get where they'd come from that. Sorry, man, I just didn't get that. Yeah, I could. Fair enough. Moneyser says, it was not Scottish, it's crap. I married an axe murderer. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, actually, so very good. Victory says, I've seen Ireland off its coast. It's rather high and flat, and trees are more inland. It's a sight to see. I know why. They're the Emerald Isle. It is quite emeraldy. I do enjoy looking at Ireland when I come back or out the plane window. It's right. It's pretty cool. It's always nice to know you're coming home too. Richard Clark says, it did get you though, just like the sketch. You should watch it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I'll look it up after the show, man, because it does sound like something I'd have a giggle at. So I'm sure it'll be cool. Muddy says, yeah, Squires come with proper Epiphone bridges too. What's your point? I mean, that's only some of them, you know. Apparently, you know, because I know that Colin's video includes an Epiphone bridge on his Squire guitar. But what do you call it? And Landon's did as well. But apparently, like, Squire put out an actual response to that and said that it was an accidental misuse of the wrong materials. But Epiphone materials are not supposed to be in a factory that's not an Epiphone factory. So there's some explaining. Somebody's done something wrong here. Something has happened that shouldn't have happened. Or that, you know, the rumors about Epiphone's factory being used at times when it's not supposed to be, and staff like making stuff they're not supposed to and stuff. Who knows what's true? But I think that's the funniest guitar related story I've seen in a long time. That the Epiphone bridge on those Squires, which is kind of why I want to pick one up to make sure I get one while they're doing it. But I do want the TV yellow one. I think that's the nicest one. But as I said to Muddy, I'm gonna wait to see Colin's video so that I can see what he thinks, because he knows better than I do. But anywho's, it is hilarious. DMAX says, one of these days I'm going to have to do an Ireland and UK trip. Maybe I can actually afford a Marshall amp if I buy one over there. Don't count on it, but yeah, good luck. It'll be fun bringing it back with you. But people bring back stuff from places. I know I've been out to like different parts of Asia and Middle East and stuff, and people like in the airport have like 70, 80-inch TVs, and you're like, that's your check-in? You're checking in an 80-inch TV? What the I would never have thought of doing that. So, maybe you could check in a Marshall amp. I don't know. I'm sure. I mean, you'd go over your weight limit, I'm sure, but, so it's fine. Leprechaun Casino reserves. Hey, that's something you want to be careful. Scott Bogwood says, can you buy a neck from a bolt-on Epi LP, just the neck, I guess from an LP 100 or something? I mean, maybe you could probably, I mean, the Stratosphere would be something. I don't know if they have Epiphone necks, bolt-on ones, but they have a lot of stuff like that. So maybe. But eBay would probably be the next best shout after that. That's a good question, Scott. But yeah, I'd imagine, like Victory Crosby says, I don't see why not. Someone will be selling them somewhere, I'm sure. Matt Van Bosch is here. Great to see you. Matt says, good to see you, Dave. Keep on keeping on. We all need this Saturday night highlight. Thanks, Matt. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. It's a very cool thing to hear. So yeah, we will keep on keeping on, indeed. Just pushing on out the content when we can. I mean, likely is you can rely more on live streams and videos from me for the next while, but you'll definitely get some of both as we go. Ryan says, I Married an Axe Murderer is one of the funniest movies ever. Great stuff. It is a funny movie. It's a long time since I've seen it, so I'm struggling to remember it, like the funniest parts. I was watching Groundhog Day today. I don't know why. It just appeared on the TV. I was like, I'm going to watch this for a bit. And then it was like 3/4 way through the movie all of a sudden. It's such a funny movie. I do enjoy that one. But yeah, I'm going to have to watch Married an Axe Murderer again soon, I think. Scott says the Chord Dave and Friends Facebook page, and he has a link because he's the master of adding links. Very good stuff. It's join the Facebook group because we do talk about guitars, people posting stuff they're working on and new purchases and stuff like that. If you want to chat to us midweek about guitars, that's the place to do it. One of the reasons, like one of the things again that I haven't been on there very much, I haven't been on Facebook very much because of the whole work situation. So I'll get back to being in there at some point, but another good place you want to reach out to myself or any of the folks in the group is on that Facebook group that Scott has put the link to. Scott says, they got caught and they wanted to be troublemaker and all the better for my Gibson versus Fender guitar build competition TV show idea. Who was it who did like an Epiphone Squire or an Epiphone Telecaster thing? I think it was Anderton's a good few years ago. They did a Slash Epiphone Les Paul Special. They took the neck off that and put it on a Squire Strat body. So definitely you can mess around with stuff like that. And sure, why not? Bit of fun. Victory says, Wayne and Garth meet Bill and Ted concert. That would be that would be interesting for sure. Has anyone seen the newer Bill and Ted movie? It was fucking awful. Scott says, I know Fender sells just about every neck they make for their regular dealers. And Axe Murderer was his first movie, wasn't it? Possibly. Yeah, it was that, or I mean, when was Wayne's World? Like 92, 91, 93? In around there. So yeah, it was probably, those were pretty close together, I think. Um, yeah, it was a while ago. Now, Matt Van Bosch says, Startup, no, Startup Ramen. Startup Ramen? I never know how to pronounce that, so thanks. Will be the death of me. And yet, it is delicious. Yeah, it is a nice alcohol beverage, adult beverage, shall we say. So there you go. Wayne's World was out a year before Axe Murderer, says DMAC. See, I knew it was something like that. And Bill and Ted Go to White Castle. I think it was, what was it called? Bill and Ted's Face the Music, I think it was. Face the Music? It was something weird. Anyway, it's really bad. so yeah, if you enjoyed the first two Bill and Ted movies, don't bother with the third one. But there you go. So yeah, first one's the best. First Bill and Ted, yeah, it was a pretty cool one indeed. First Wayne's World is the best as well. I remember sneaking to see the first Wayne's World and thinking it was so grown up and so I don't even know. I knew I shouldn't have gone to see it because I was too young to see it when I saw it. But I was too young to see everything I was seeing around those days. So, it's just how life is. But anyway, it's all good. Anyways, let's talk about guitars and things. What have we got coming up? So as I said, we got the Marty Schwartz Epiphone ES335 coming this week. We will have that this week. Then the Adam Jones Epiphone. What do you call it? Or they might actually hold that till September. But it was supposed to be an August one. The Epiphone Adam Jones Art Collection one. But what I heard was, I don't know if this is true. Somebody told me, someone who works for a major retailer was told me that they were told to hold back the next Adam Jones Art Collection because they wanted to give more time for the Julie Heffernan second one to sell more because it hasn't sold out yet. And I think that's crazy. That guitar had 800 copies worldwide and it didn't sell out. As you remember, the first two sold out quite quickly. Did the second one sell out quickly? Yeah, well, I think the first two sold out quite quickly, and the third and the fourth one, it's like you can still go buy them. Some places still have them. So, in fact, I'm pretty sure the fourth one, the latest one, they still readily available in most places. So the fifth one of 6 art versions is due out very soon. My understanding was that they were going to have one in August, then one in October, and then just the regular Silverburst No Art Collection one would come out in December, and that would be the end of the Adam Jones run for now until they brought out a Flying V at some point. That's going to be a Gibson Flying V. It's going to come out next year. So I don't know. I think we're seeing the Marty, and then we're seeing the and the next Adam Jones. And then I think we're going to hear the Dave Grohl stuff. We're going to hear about it. And then we're going to, of course, be seeing Gibson stuff come out alongside those things as well. So it'll be like one Tuesday we'll see an Epiphone, the next Tuesday we will see a Gibson, and so forth. So, just keep an eye on the market, though, for what they do. Because I'm really interested in what they're going to do with the Adam Jones ones, because the pricing has been hit hard by a lot of people. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, because they went up to like €1,600 here, which is, no one's going to pay that. That's why they're not selling. Anyway, if you have any questions or any things you want to know about Epiphones or Gibson stuff, I have a little bit of stuff hopefully coming to me soon, information coming soon. I'm hoping anyway. I'm going to be talking to someone next week who might be able to tell me a little bit about what's going on. Ryan says LP Supreme should be out in October. Not sure if it's worth buying or not. The LP Supreme is a mystery because of the pictures that Cesar is putting out. I don't know if I like the headstock inlays that they've put out, and it looks Harley Benton-ish to me. I should make a video about it, or maybe just bring some pictures in next week. Harley Benton have a fairly similar inlay pattern on some of their custom range. So I don't know if they know about that, but they should. But also the three pickup thing, I'm not a big fan of anyway, and I'm not a big fan of the plain top, what appears to be the plain top ones they've done, and obviously the three pickups on the plain tops. Not sure what they're doing there. Obviously they could be doing sparkle bursts or something, or sparkle finishes, or just plain finish like an ebony and a white or something. I don't know. But then of course there is the more flame toppy one, which I don't particularly like the type of flame that they have on that. I don't think it looks particularly supreme. If they put that on a standard, I'd be like, yeah, that suits the standard. It's personal taste though on that, I think. It'll be interesting to see what they do. For $4,000, I think they're probably going to be a good deal though, for what they are. I don't think I'll be queuing up for them though. Scott Bogfoot says, when me and my buddy met Billy Gibbons last year, I felt like doing the "we're not worthy" thing from Wayne's World. Yeah, I could understand that. I think that, yeah, Billy Gibbons is one of the people I would definitely consider that for sure. Victory says, do you think Epi will bring back out a new model of a Nighthawk, not Nancy Wilson, but an old Nighthawk? Probably, but I don't know when. I don't think it's on the books for now. They probably will bring one out next week now that I've said that. Yeah, like you might see a Blues Hawk or a Nighthawk at some point. Like the Nancy Wilson one didn't sell super well, so from my understanding it was like it did okay, but like it didn't far exceed their expectations. If it did, it would have sold. But it's kind of a niche model. Like people who love them, and people and lots of other people just don't care about them. So they will do them, but probably I would say I wouldn't expect one in the next year or two. But again, they could drop one next week because I don't know. But yeah, I'd expect it. They'll definitely put them out at some point. What they need though is some signature artist to come along and be like, I want to do a Nighthawk. That's where you're most likely to see them. But who knows? Maybe they might even bring out another Nancy Wilson one at some point, because it's been a couple of years now since that one. D-Max says, I'm seeing Adam Jones Gibson LPs selling at the same price as LP standards. Seeing them in a few different shops, I thought they were supposed to be higher priced. They were, but that market has really just gone down. So there you go. We will. I'm not really. I don't really look at the Adam Jones. I'm not sure what they're going for. But if you're seeing DMAC, then I believe you. I believe that's what's happening. Scott says no new art guitar release yet. No, it's not coming this week. I'm pretty sure they're going to stick to August. So the last week in August, which would be not this week, but the week after, there should be one. That's when I think it's going to happen. It could also come in the first 2 weeks of September though. So that's what it's coming. We know that they're made. We've seen them. They're on the Facebook group from a good few months ago now. So they're definitely coming because they have them made. So it's just about whether they're going to put them out at a reasonable price or not. Vincent Doyle's here. Great to see you, Vincent. Hope you are doing well, my friends, this evening all. Gibson opening a new garage store in London. Worth a visit for sure. Yeah, I'm going to try when they're opening it to be there for the opening. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be crazy, and all of the European and probably a lot of the US YouTubers will go as well. But we'll see. I'm sure Cesar will invite me personally to a special tour before they actually open to the public. But if not, we'll go on the opening week or so and see how it is. Yeah, I'm excited for it though. I think it'll be good. Obviously, it'll be like the made to measure opportunity to check that out. It'll be great. Whether they have it as an exact replica of what they have in Nashville, I don't know. But I think it'll be good. I've wanted to go to the Gibson Garage since they opened it in Nashville. So having to just drop over to London will be a lot better. So yeah, looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll be a good experience. And we can do some videos and stuff about it. So that'll be fun. Just need to get the time off work. And next year I've already pretty much booked all my time off work. So you know what I need, guys? I need to be my own boss. I need to just set out on my own, and do all the stuff that I do before myself. So if anyone wants to hire me for, I'm just gonna not finish that sentence. Ryan says it's not a 3 pickup plain top. That was just one variant for Chicago Music Exchange. Oh, okay. I didn't follow up on that. You see it all. So there we go. Interesting. Well, there we go. I'm glad because I didn't like that at all, to be honest. Scott says, where do these garage stores get their stock? Is it just B stock division? The Gibson garage, like they make the guitars. And they bring them from there. I don't know how they're getting their stores, the ones to London, but there you go. It's one of those things that I'm sure they're working on getting their stock out there, because they do exclusive stuff, and of course all the demo shop stuff goes there. And now that they have a UK and a European demo shop, maybe they'll stock all those things there too. Anyways, yeah, just Gibson making stuff. I don't think it's just from B stock division, though. No. You never know. DMAX says the third pickup on a Les Paul is for the smoke bomb machine. Victor says I need all 3 pickups. Well, there you go. See, some people, that's why they make them. Some people like them. I don't. So, because I never know what to do with that middle one. So, there you go. Scott says I want to see an Epiphone RD, even a baritone, anything to bring back the RD. All right. I mean, listen, Fluff will agree with you. His channel, he likes his RDs, you know. They're cool guitars if you're into that kind of wavy stuff. The offset, like, guitar that looks like someone was not balanced when they drew it, but that's fine. I just don't like the design. But yeah, hey, I dig that people will get them. Eventually, I think this Gibson ownership will put out a proper RD reissue, possibly. Richard Virginia says waiting on a hurricane to hit. Will take care, Richard. You know, be safe and be well. It's good to see you, and we're sending good wishes to all the folks in the Chord Dave community with the bad weather this week. Seems to be quite a few of you in harm's way, so take care for sure. Moniz here says working out of town next week. No sales tax. Looking for that SG. Not seeing anything. There is an Epi SG, $330, but it's gold. Worst color ever. I mean, gold's not bad. Come on, it's not the worst. The worst is red, right? Or no, you like red, right? So, hey, red's not too bad. Yeah, I think, gold is fine, but yeah, 330 is not bad for an Epi SG though. But you never know. You never know what you'll just bump into when you're out of town. So hopefully you find something, my niece. That'll be super cool for your trip. Scott says the problem with Gibson sneak peeks are they might take Theodore lengths of time to come out of it all. I mean, yes. What was that? Like 70 years? No, 60 something years. Yeah. Well, you know, they don't work fast. They work well. Kind of. They do things. Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully they speed up the process. That's all we can say, really. Ryan says, does anyone ever really know what to do in the middle? No, I don't know. It's because it's not like a Strat where like you'll get a 5-way selector switch, which fine, you can work it out. But with a Gibson, you got a 3-way switch and you got 3 pickups. It's like, what is going on here? Yeah, I don't know. But I know sometimes I think they look cool, 3 pickup guitars. I just know that I'm not going to know what to do with this thing. So there you go. But then I can barely work with 2 pickups, as we know quite well. Victory says, I'll purchase a smoke machine now. There you go. Make use of it. Why not? Because that's all you need. Maybe I should figure it out. Maybe I should buy, I know Harley Benton have a SG, one of their SG copies has 3 pickups, and I've never known really what to do with those. So maybe I pick it up because it's nice and cheap, and I can figure it out with that, or I can not figure it out, and it'll be a funny video. That's possibly something we can do. on the channel. Just laugh at Dave trying to play guitar and figure it out, because that generally works and usually gets me a lot of comments. And when people comment on the channel, it grows a lot quicker. And honestly, when it grows a lot quicker, you get more encouraged to do more. So, you get more comments, even if they're calling you a fucking idiot, which a lot of them do when I play guitar on YouTube. Rightly so, I have to say. You get a lot of you get a lot of growth out of that, which is funny. So realistically, what they do is they help the channel. Anyway, it's all good. Scott says, I kind of want something with a Variac switch. Is that what the BB King Lucille have? Veritone switch, yeah. Position 1 sounds like a 335. Position 2 sounds like BB King, and all the rest sound like shit. That's Mark Agnesi's joke. Don't blame me. Activating smoke works for me. I need something to cover my terrible playing. Hey, join the club. That's what I need too. Yeah, that's why I don't actually do a lot of playing on YouTube, because I do get slaughtered for it, and it's sometimes the comments are funny and sometimes they just make me angry. But that's it's just because I have a short fuse. DMAC says the Gibson Garage in Nashville has all their guitars hanging and moving along a conveyor belt type contraption up at the ceiling. If you want to see a specific guitar, they just stop it and pull it down. Yeah, I've seen the tour videos of it and stuff, and they have that little place at the back, the vault, where they have all the cool, expensive, like really old vintage guitars. I wonder, will they have something like that in London too? I'll find out, because when they open it, I'll go over. They can't stop me. They can ban me from the shop, but they can't stop me going to London. I don't think so. Moneyser says 2019 Gibson SG Standard Tribute satin cherry with faux leather Gibson gig bag, $9.99 with aftermarket pickup. Comes with the original pickups too. That's probably a really good SG Standard, to be honest. The SG Standards do come in that gig bag. They don't come in cases anymore. And yeah, what else do they come with? It'll be interesting to know what pickups they come with, to be honest, with the aftermarket pickups. But if they come with the originals, they're probably fine. The SG Standards are good guitars. I would, if I was looking for an SG, I'd go for an SG Special. That's just because I love SG Specials. But SG Standards are great as well. Victory says, I already hand out complimentary earmuffs. So considerate of you, and that's a great, fair play. I like it. Money said, you've got to stop caring what I think about you, Dave. Play your damn guitar. I do. I've been playing guitar a lot lately. Actually, I don't know. I hadn't been, and one of the things that I have been dealing with lately as well is I've actually developed a little bit of carpal tunnel in both of my wrists. I mean, that's what I'm putting it down to, because I'm typing all the time for work and stuff. So I haven't been able to play as much as I want to, but recently, the last couple of weeks, I've been playing a lot more, because I've just been like, you know what, I'm just having fun with it. So I care less about what you think right now, Muddy, about my guitar playing, but that'll all change next week when I post a video of myself playing a certain guitar I'm going to post about. Richard says, I had a smoke machine when I was younger, and we can tell. Let's be honest. Richard says, Sweetwater has an exclusive Model 335 with the Dave Grohl type F holes and a Variac switch on the ebony finish. I think that's the Japanese exclusive model, isn't it? But they somehow Sweetwater have got them, and those are cool. I like those. Yeah, they're pretty interesting guitars. I like them a lot. They do indeed have them. There's nowhere in Europe selling them, so I can't pick one up. And they won't. Well, I think they will ship to Europe, but import charges would be ridiculous. Money says, I'm fine with a gig bag. I don't travel or play out. I'm the same, but I do prefer a case, because eventually I know I'm going to need one, so for moving and stuff. But there you go. Money says, I like the SG with the smaller pick guard or no pick guard. I hate plastic on my guitars. I'm not a big pick guard fan. The smaller the pick guard, the better on an SG, and no pick guard on a Les Paul. Dean McCaskill's here. Great to see you, Dean. Says, hello, everyone. I'm back. Hey, Dave, watch the video today of you crapping on the road-worn fenders. Well, I just ordered a Fiesta red one. It's the Nitro that I want. Nitro feels different. Hey, man, listen, everything I ever say in my videos is personal opinion and should never be never be taken too seriously. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. I'll be honest with you, my opinion kind of has changed since I made those videos about the road worn things, because people were in the comments and they were saying to me, hey, you should really just check out a road worn because it's a different thing. And I still haven't played much of a relic guitar. I just aesthetically am not a big fan of it, but I think at some point, and I've said this before, I will definitely pick up a road worn or a relic guitar at some point to kind of get a better understanding of it. If you gave me a choice of two guitars, though, relic or not relic, I would go with the not relic one. If it was like just a pure choice thing. But I do want to get a road worn Fender maybe at some point just to see. Yeah, I agree. Nitro does feel different. It's got a different. It's everything about it is just a little different. In the touch, the feel. I don't know what it is, but you know you've got to take care of that thing a little bit better. I do. I feel that's what I feel. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. What I say in those older videos, I have changed my opinion on them a little bit, and that happens. I change my opinion quite a bit. So yeah. Also, sorry for the old video. So, I should really take all my old videos down because I get in trouble for them. Scott says, thanks for everything, Dave. Great show. Nice and quiet this week. Hope you have a great week ahead. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you, man, and all the work you do behind the scenes. So thanks for helping us out with the show. Let me see. Muddy says, I prefer the feel of Nitro as well, Dean. He does. Also on his guitars. Eric Ainsley 67 says, I like cases at first, but if your body count gets too high, there's just no room for it. I only get cases for specific guitars. Well, Eric, right now my body count is not too high, so I'm fine with some cases. Although they are kind of piling up in my hallway right now, so. Guitar cases, right? But yes, I get where you're coming from. Indeed, they can mount up for sure. Victory says, Dean says, I didn't take it too serious, actually. Good. I'm glad. Victory says they should bottle that Nitro scent. First person to do it, put in a candle or something like that, is going to make a lot of money. Definitely, for sure. Muddy says, Dean, you've hurt Dave's feelings. Good job. I don't have feelings to get hurt, so it's fine. I did, but then this girl took them all away from me at one point. She's probably going to see that video and give me shit for it. But there you go. It's fine. I don't really care anymore about my feelings, that is. My knees hurt, says Muddy. I stick my hand in lacquer weekly. I'm not a fan of the feel of it. I mean, that's, yeah. Okay, we can talk about that another time. Dean says it's more like Poly or Nitro. That's all I'm saying. It's a good video. No, thanks, Dean. I appreciate it. Videos, when you make videos and you put them up there, at some point you're probably going to change your opinion. I know there's things that I've said in videos that I don't agree with anymore. But yeah, that the road worn one is one that stands out as like. I learned a lot from the comment section in that one, where like people were educating me and telling me why I should give it a better go. But I appreciate you checking it out, man. That's super cool. And if it helped you in any way make your decision, then that's super cool as well. And you say it was a good video. Well, thanks. Oh, and your beard was way shorter. Yeah, I'd say it was like here, because if I remember correctly, that was in the house I lived in before this one, which was a tiny house. Not a tiny house, but it was a very small house, and it was a nightmare. I could not wait to get out of it for many reasons. Anyway, Muddy says watching Dave's back catalogue is a treat. It's not. No one should do it ever. That's a big bottle. My knees hurt, says Victory. And my knees hurt says it's a metal bucket. There you go. We all love metal. Dean says, oh, and I just brought home a Pro Reverb. It's actually smaller in size than the Deluxe Reverb, but way louder. Very, very cool. Yeah, a little bit jealous about that, indeed. And my knees hurt, says Marshall 2x12 locally, just the cab, $265. Sounds like a good deal, man. To me, anyway. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. It's been a fun one. Thanks for joining me. Of course, as Muddy says, watching the back catalogue is possible to do if you want to torture yourself. I promise you're going to try and put out some videos on YouTube's this week. I have plans. We're gonna change up what we're doing, but it's gonna be more more good, maybe. Should be back for another guitar related video very soon. But until then, my friends, take care, and I'll see you very soon.